Here, you see this wall? This is probably an old foundation. That's awesome. Got some old metal here too. It's probably the old chimney. Oh, that's cool. Ilex verticillata, or the winter berry. Grab a berry real quick, a little berry branch so you can see. Oh, beautiful. Grows in swampy areas like this one. All in the small brook in this valley downstream, and you can see in the distance there's a little patch of white, and that should be a frozen over bog. More weird liverworts. These are going on Inaturalist. Eventually, you know, it's not going to be instant Inaturalist thing. It'll take me a few weeks. Then we got another moss. I don't know what it is. I got to do my research. Now we're heading into a Briar Creek lowland. You can see all around me is greenbrier, the smilax. There's also clethra. So it's a clethra briar. We have a yellow birch here. We have a red maple there. Beautiful, beautiful stream slash brook. That thing's gorgeous. White pines, and then the bog is over there. So we're almost there. These little hummocks are basically boulders covered in moss. Getting down into the lowland part. This is a shady swamp, but as soon as you get towards the sunlight, you get a sunny swamp with all the clethra and the briar, and then it opens up into a little boggy pond, and a kettle pond per se. As we get closer to the opening of the bog, we get a lot of blueberries and clethra and sea floral or Calmia angustifolia. Here's your high bush blueberry with its beautiful bark. You get your Smilex rotundifolia, which is common, which makes these areas a pain in the ass to walk through, like I've said 1,000 times. And the bog opens up as you get past all the little red maples. I'm not sure if beavers inhabit this area. They might. We're entering into the hummocky blueberry area. Ice seems decently thick. I got good boots on, so I mean you can definitely hear it kind of crickling, crackling. I'll be fine if I fall through a couple inches. If that happens, I'll just hightail it back to the truck to get warm. A nice swamp rhododendron there. Got clethra onifolia right here. I love going to these places in the summer because it's hot and it's tropical. It's paradise, honestly. I can't wait to show you guys. It's gonna, oh look, the moon out. Half moon, look at that, boom. Beautiful. This Lyonia is gorgeous. One of my favorite blueberry shrubs. I mean, I say everything's my favorite, and that is true. Growing here in the bog with the clethra onifolia, the beautiful clethra. And there's your beautiful azalea. Forget about cuscuta, which is this little parasitic plant, also called dodder. Chamaedaphne calyculata, a telltale member of the bogland. Basically, if you have one of these, you know it's going to be an acidic bogland. Beautiful. That's what I was saying. Phone ran out of storage. Chamaedaphne calyculata with a leather leaf, a little blueberry family shrub. Gets up to 7 feet tall, and it loves, absolutely loves bogs. And it has this awesome, just kind of like that reddish tinge to it. If you see anything that's leafy with a reddish tinge, like all those over there and that one right there, it's a leather leaf. I love them. This is the bogland, open, with your rhododendrons looking beautiful. Leather leaf. This is a blueberry, high bush blueberry. You can see its beautiful, almost pink stems. Got various sedges in there. Clethra onifolia. Look, there's even a winterberry holly. See that with the little red berries? Barely. Boom. Beautiful. Love bogs. To visit this place last summer during the green season, but I never got the chance. I got too busy doing other stuff. So this is a leatherleaf bog. One of my favorite habitats. You can find all sorts of fun orchids in them. And while, you know, you might say, oh, you're destroying the leatherleaf. The plants of the bog, some of the coolest ones, need little clearings to survive. So, you're not crushing all of it. I mean, you're leaving the plant. Deer do it. So I think it's beneficial. I think it's beneficial. It's that disturbance this thing needs to prevent it from closing in and becoming a forest, which it eventually will be. Here we have Vaccinium macropon, or the American cranberry, growing on this little sphagnum hummock within this bog. You can see them, you can see them. Boom, look at that, beautiful. Here and there, beautiful red sphagnum underneath all this leather leaf. Look at it. Such a beautiful, like, such a vibrantly red color. Look at that. I love these kind of bogs. Myrica gale, or bog myrtle, if it will focus. Sweet gale. Those are in the Myricaceae. There's not too many species of Myricaceae here in New England. And the leaves smell absolutely divine. So do the fruits and the flowers. It's in the wax myrtle family. And it's growing here in this bog, this very acidic, open leatherleaf bog. All this, that's all leatherleaf. Don't step over there. That's where an upwelling is. So it's the sphagnum's thinner, and it's warmer, and the ice is thinner too. So it would break if you were to stand on it. And it's a bog, so you'd sink. A grass or a sedge or something in the Cyperaceae called Scirpus. It's a genus, and they also call it bulrush. I can't remember the exact species name. One day it'll be off the top of my head like all these other plants are, but it is quite common, and they are quite beautiful. Here's your cranberry with the berry, Vaccinium macropon. I love its red foliage this time of year. It's beautiful. We have more Cuscuta, parasitic plant, also called dodder. And it's entirely parasitic. It goes into the stems of plants and then comes out and it looks like a bunch of yellow silly string. It's beautiful. The little catkins of that myrtle, the Myrica gale, if it focuses. There you go. Look how beautiful. Very nice. Let's see. Focus? It kind of does. Yeah, look at that. That's nice. Oops. Boom. Hiking through these areas, it's all about kind of careful stepping and avoiding open spots. Just kind of skirting the outside of them. And you want to stay where the growth is heaviest in these types of... Oh, look, it's a button bush. Let me get the genus name on that. Cephalanthus occidentalis. I knew it was. Button bush. These are in the coffee family, and they have these fun ball button white shaped flowers that are pokey with little white. They're not really sharp, but they're little white puff balls. And they form these little puffball seeds that birds love. Very beautiful. Hummingbirds. I mean, bumblebees, butterflies. I've seen everything on them. They're an awesome wetland plant. Maybe they can survive in the uplands. I haven't tried to grow them yet. Yeah, alba, or white spirea. Beautiful. One of my favorites in the rose family. Blooms in July, just like that button bush. In a pond or a bog, you do it the stomp test. If it doesn't break when you do that, it's probably not going to break when you're walking across it. At least in these small areas. And I know I'm safe in these small areas. It's the open areas where it might be an open pond. So you can even see those lines. So that's all very thin ice right there. You want to stay far away from that. This area is fucking beautiful. I have bogs near you. The best time to go on the bog is either in the late summer or any time during the summer, but in the winter, you need to go right after a long freeze, because usually these are pretty frozen. And you can kind of walk on them, explore, see what's going on, see how it looks. But in the summer, it's 1,000 times more beautiful. I absolutely love bogs. I just don't like it when they're by gun clubs. Peanut butter and jelly, and a lunch spot on the bog. About 20 degrees out. Not too chilly. I mean, it's definitely chilly, but I got my winter clothes on. Beautiful. Great lunch spot. Plant in the genus Lycopus. It's the little mint. These are tiny white flowers. It's also called bugleweed. It's a cool ground cover. Here we have swamp rose. The genus on that is Rosa palustris. Look how the hips, those little rose berries, just glow in that sunlight. It's gorgeous. And these you can eat. They don't really taste very good, but you can make tea out of them and whatnot. They're kind of tart, but you can see that they're also kind of spiky. It actually comes down through here and goes along this, and this proves that this is a beaver dam. And this is flooded by water most of the year. So here's the edge of the beaver dam. It's about 2 feet higher than it normally is. And it's definitely kind of thin. So it'd be easier and safer to actually step over there or step even towards the middle and away from this crap. Lysimachia terrestris, or swamp loosestrife, or swamp candles. Beautiful little rods of yellow flowers in June. They're quite common. They're gorgeous. I love their fall foliage. They turn like this beautiful bright red color. I'll say these are Hypericum virginicum, but I'm not 100% sure. I have Typhilatifolia, or the broadleaf cattail, growing here in this bog. I love cattails. One of my favorites. Nice money shots of that Chamaedaphne. The beautiful leatherleaf. The blueberry family. Beautiful. A little wetland juncus. It's a rush in the genus, probably a bulrush, in the genus Juncus. Looking beautiful. Jointed rush, maybe. Maybe. That's a swamp rose right there. Fern. This one will be on Inaturalist. Look at that. That thing's weird. Here we have the poison sumac, which is Toxidendron vernix. It's related to poison ivy, which I just find weird because it looks a lot like a sumac. Like, why has it got to be Toxidendron? It looks nothing like poison ivy. The buried ones there are Ilex verticillata, or the winterberry holly, in the rose family. It's more of an acidic shrub swamp. So you got to be more aware of where you step. Right here is kind of thin. You can hear it crack, and you can see where it shows up around these. So this must be an upwelling spot, which makes it difficult because this is where, like, I'm just trying to get to that side of the bog, and it's all like a little sketch. So I might have to take the forest route or just kind of make my way through it, because I'm not sure how deep these are. Sometimes they're only like an inch deep. Other times they're like 2 or 3 feet deep. So I don't know. I mean, I'm wearing good winter stuff, and I would have to really get in there to really get in there, if you know what I'm saying, to really get fucking soaked. Ice, and in some areas it's like only 1.5 inches, if that. So definitely not really safe to stand on. And it took me to stomp on that to break it, but I was just testing it. But once you break it, you go right through. So I'm just going to continue my way to the open area, way far. And in these sort of areas, you kind of have to go from hummock to hummock, and each hummock is this kind of tuft because the ice is pretty thin, so you have to kind of step from one to one, and eventually you'll get to where you want to go. In the shrub swamp, making my way from hummock to hummock, thin ice and probably 3 feet or more of water, and we'll see if the hummocks could eventually connect to the solid ice over there, and then back into the forest on that side. It's getting pretty over here. Got this, it's like a 4-foot leap. I can make it. And I'll just keep on jumping through. I'm hoping that this way connects over to that island there. Because I don't want to be doing giant jump to giant jump. And I don't want to get onto an island where this kind of jump would be less possible. You know. Maybe we'll try to head towards that. Looks like an old pine tree. No, it's an oak. I wonder what the history of this place was. Obviously it used to have pine trees. So what I'm thinking is these dead pines will signify maybe an area with a little bit more solid ground. Maybe not. Maybe that's why they're dead. I don't know. It's like, that kept on going, but I pulled myself up. That's a good 2.5 feet of water. None of my boot yet, but definitely not ideal. So I decided to move a little bit closer to this side, the south side of the bog, because it's a little bit less sketchy so far. Probably because it's in the shade. But I'll let you know when I get to over there, because I want to get over there. Reasons why that area over there was so sketchy was because of its distance from a creek. And so the distance from the creek where the water's running, it's usually a little bit warmer, so the ice is slower to form. So it ends up being thinner in these kind of areas. Another Juncus, this one's pretty tall. I know what species it is, I just can't damn remember. It'll be on Inaturalist, that's for sure. Some Cladonia, Cladonia crystallata, or the British soldier lichen. Look how cool! With the red little sport tips, oh my god! That's fucking it might even not be that exact Cladonia. Oh my god, look at that fucking thing. Thing's awesome. A burreed here, or a Sparganium. It's in the genus Sparganium, a little burreed. These are like almost white in the, like kind of, they have little tiny white little spikes, kind of. Like at the tip of each of those little, at the tip of each one, there's like a little white tuft. It is a grass, so it does, those would be the anthers, right? Pollen presenters? I don't know. The thing that makes the pollen. Here we have a tiny gallium. Isn't that cool? I like the galliums. Little tiny white flowers. Swamp grass. Look at this. I don't know, it's a grass. Definitely Poaceae. I've seen it before. Kind of rare. An hour ago, I was probably only like 30 feet that way. Barely even. I was over at that tree. Except moving through there, I probably spent 30 minutes coming and backtracking. So that's how kind of rough going some of these areas are. Just because the ice is thin over there. I gotta sneeze, holy smokes. Alright. Anyways, thin ice over there and just kind of thick, brushy bullcrap. Whereas over here it's a little bit more open. But there is still a little bit of showing water, as you can see right there. So I gotta watch my step, because these cattail areas are known to be pretty deep. The north shores of this bog is just this pure, or maybe it's the south shore, north-facing shore more or less, but more or less it's just filled with clethra and greenbrier, so nearly impassable. Maybe for like 20 feet or so, and then it probably opens back up into a nice pine forest. I might go, I might not. I'm going to check out whatever that blackberry thing. That's probably an aronia right there. You see that? That's an aronia for sure. This is just greenbrier. Smilex rotundifolia. I was hoping it was being aronia. Chamaedaphne australis starting to move in. That's not good. I'm making my way through the clethra briar swamp because I got no other choice. So you just kind of gotta kick your way through. Just kind of loosen them up and then part and squeeze. What I mean by part is basically you part it and then you just kind of squeeze through. Ouch. That just fell on my head. Alright, now it opens back up into a nice kind of swampy bogland. This is more of kind of the moat ecosystem. So this is all usually water. Stupid greenbrier. That's my little path. Definitely a dense pine forest. Look at that. Codon verticulatus. It's a cool plant. Let me get you a closer look. Codon verticulatus. It has these beautiful, like magenta flowers. All these are remains of them. They kind of look like a lysimachia, and it's been called swamp loosestrife before. It's also called water willow. It's a really cool one, super aggressive, wonderful swamp plant. Bees and birds and butterflies love it. And you only find it really in super wet, boggy areas like this. Three-way sedge, otherwise known as Dulicium arundinaceum. That's a fucking mouthful. Dulicium arundinaceum, Dulicium arundinaceum. Now we'll always remember Dulicium arundinaceum. The three-way sedge. Beaver dam, so that goes up another 3 or 4 inches. And it gets it's flowy over here. It's pretty flowy. Like walking through these areas and just hearing it like snap beneath your feet. I stepped like right here and it went, yeah, it did that. But much louder, I was like, eee. Maybe I'll head through there, or maybe I test that little open spot right there. I don't think it's very deep. I mean, I could be totally wrong. It could be like 1.5 feet. But a good way to check is in these open areas. So let's see. Alright, so on average it's about that deep. So this is nothing to be too worried about. If I break through, I break through, you know? Oh, look at all the little bird tracks, probably from chickadees. We got something that was walking through here, maybe a coyote or a raccoon. This is probably a little bit deeper. There's the beaver dam, you can see the edge of it. That little delineating line that is definitely pretty beneath me, so I'm gonna continue. I made it onto or above the beaver dam. Inch is probably around 3 inches. 3 inches is safe enough, but it gets down to 2, if not 1, in some areas. And I'm finally making it past to probably open ice areas like I was in earlier. My plan is to get all the way to the other side where those pines are. That's a nice big hill. Has a nice little hangout spot. It's pretty cool. It's so much easier walking through this area than those other areas. Those other areas are nightmarish. 2 dams in here, one there and one over there. Plenty of food for the beavers to eat. Beavers are actually really cool because they get rid of a lot of the shrubs and allow more herbaceous plants to grow. Beaver dam again, and I'm just kind of moseying my way in this bog, this beaver bog. Oh look, it's this stuff. It's a type of aster. Neat. Might be an Oclemina. Chamaedaphne thyoides, or the Atlantic white cedar. Typical in bogs. This one I believe has died because it's flushed in this bright red color. But this greener one is more okay. Perhaps it doesn't like the fluctuations in the water depth. Also smells amazing if you crush them. Like crush these little needles. One of my favorite smelling conifers. I'm just gonna mosey my way out of here. Crossing over, this is a brook. Completely frozen. More or less completely frozen. Frozen enough for me to walk on it. To revisit this spot in the summer to see what's blooming. Probably come here in maybe June or July. You can see all the cranberry. There's all sorts of maybe Eleochorus, maybe that's the grass. Sedges. Can likely orchids. Oh look, cranberry. You can eat these like this. They're absolutely delicious. Very sour. Got some bulrush. Scirpus. To be a landowner on a bog That would be crazy. I would love to live there. Maybe I'll just buy that house. I don't think it's for sale. That's like phenomenal location. You just overlook a bog. Ugh. I'm gonna head up there. Hopefully before the sun sets. To note about bogs is when exploring them, there's always a moat. And what I mean by a moat is a ring of kind of deep water that doesn't really ever freeze. And it's always against the edge. So it's kind of like it could go down like to 4 feet and then be upland, because it more or less this is just a bowl. It slopes pretty much straight down. I wonder where the bottom, like how deep this bog is in general. How deep this bog is in general. There you go. But yeah, they got moats. So you don't know how deep the moats are. Sometimes the moats are super deep. Sometimes they're shallow. Sarracenia purpurita, or the purple pitcher plant, common in boggy areas like this. Carnivorous. Super neat. It's about less than a boot, like a quarter boot deep, but still not extremely pleasant to dunk into, you know what I'm saying? The other side, and I'm making it up to see the sunset. So I'll let you know when I get up there.